show you just the Red Hat Insights image builder. Okay, so not trying to sell you anything extra. I'm just trying to talk about a free benefit that comes with any Red Hat subscription or every Red Hat subscription, and that is the image builder service. As this is again, it's kind of I wouldn't say it's new, but it's been built into RHEL for a little while, since RHEL 7.8, I think, or so. But it's now a hosted service as well. So this can be really useful. So you can see I was playing around with an image the other day, and I was playing around trying to make the image break actually. But this allows me to build images on the Red Hat cloud and then push those images into Azure as well. So if you don't want to set up any additional infrastructure for building images, or if you've not got something already, then this can be a useful solution to spit out Red Hat images in a really quick, really effortless way. Every image that comes from this is inherently supported by Red Hat as well. So we run a bunch of checks on those images. And if you don't already have your own pipeline, then this is a really useful service. So again, go select my Azure cloud. I can also produce a on-prem VMware image as well if I wanted to have the same configuration producing for VMware. But again, there's an option there. It will produce my Azure VM by default. Go through here.
I'll add as
Now,
well, James, at that point that Azure has a VMware solutions for those
right,
customers that are not just using the virtual machines in Azure directly. They're using the
exactly,
AVS solution, as we call it, the Azure VMware solution. You can also have those
definitely,
VMware images and, of course, use them with your VMware deployment on Azure.
definitely. And worthwhile pointing out again, that's obviously fully certified, fully supported, and it can be an option as well for customers that are looking to move RHEL for virtual data center subscriptions to Azure as well, right? So if you've got subscriptions that allow for unlimited VMs, that is one target where they are supported on the public cloud. So worthwhile just think about that one too as well. So okay, so if I go for my Azure environment, so I think I already have my Azure subscription set up, right? And that's going to populate my Azure tenant ID and subscription ID. If you don't have that already, then you can go through and click and add that in, or you can enter those manually if you need be. But just as we're getting towards the end of the webinar, this is just a quick thing just to show you. I can then select the resource group to deploy into. Oh, I hopefully could have selected the resource group. There we are. See, scroll down. A little panic. My demo was going to break down there just for a minute. So there's my resource group. It's funny if it's one of my websites, but there we go. Here's the option here to choose how you want to register the system. So, without having to register using Subscription Manager, you could have that key baked into the image. That can be really, really useful. So I don't have to register every machine after I create it. Or you can choose, if you prefer, more manual registration. If you want to maybe have more tight grain control over your subscriptions, that might be a way to go. But leave that as automatic for now. Activation key. So I'll just select JRead as my activation key. Great. So in this case, this activation key is set up for premium support. And I can also set the role to production or the role to testing or whatever. My account's a bit of a mess. I've got a lot of different activation keys, but most customers are going to have like an activation key for premium production or for like standard test and development or something else like that, right? Go through next here. So again, the image builder gives me some basic functionality for configuring disks. So you can use automatic, or you can sit here manually and start adding in disks as well. For example, multiple disk partitions and changing the size of those partitions as well. Ooh, there we go. So we can change those, and the file system type, I believe, just sets to default as XFS. So again, basic partitioning support, but if you're looking to build out an image quickly and easily without having to set up your own pipeline, then this is a really useful tool that we're only adding to and expanding upon as well. So really nice.
So one thing I will quickly interject there, James, as well, is that to have a smaller virtual machine image created in that manner can be very useful. So for example, the
Right.
images you showed us earlier on Azure also have a minimum size, I think 30 gigs or 40 gigs or around this kind of size. So you're also looking for a smaller image. This was also a great way using the Red Hat image builder to actually make that custom, that smaller image. There
You
are
bet.
other ways to build your images on Azure, which we can talk about, but I love that you're bringing us through this Red Hat image builder, and you can really, I think from anybody from an Azure perspective watching this, you can definitely get into the details here with the Red Hat image builder.
You bet, definitely. And like I say, I mean, I think at the end of the day, there are so many different ways for building images, right? There's a lot of customers who've got maybe lots of scripts from on-prem, or as you say, using tooling in Azure. Like as long as you're producing a Red Hat image, we'll with Red Hat official packages, we'll support it, obviously. But again, I speak to a lot of customers that are maybe making the first steps in their Azure journey, or maybe looking for standardization, and say, hey, what have I got available for me free out of the box, that I can use? And this can be an option. So absolutely. Again, there's no best tool. There's just lots of options to choose from, I would say. So you can see from here, we can you can add packages as well. So like that web server, the best web server in the world that I installed earlier, I could add those in and pre-bake those in as the images, as well as now this is going to be controversial. This the best programming language in the world. There, if I haven't got the chat already roaring at me, I'm sure I have done now. So you can add your
I'm
packages
not. I'm
there.
not going to interrupt as a Microsoft employee to make any comments on this, James, as well.
There we
No
go.
comment.
No comment. No comment. There we go. I'm sure there'll be some comments in chat now, but adding some standard packages in, very, very simple. Or, of course, you could choose some other ones in there too. But just for the purposes of demo, that's just how that bit works. As well as the option to add in your own custom repositories, right? So, of course, we see customers all the time with their own scripts, their own tooling, and what have you. So, repositories available in there too. So, we won't go through ahead and create this now because it will just sit here and spin for a while. But the net result is if we go through next, and submit that, if I've added my Red Hat, my Azure subscription in here, I can have the option to produce the image for me to download, but I could also have the option to push it directly into my Azure account. And again, that's going to save you a whole bunch of engineering time in terms of building that image and downloading it and then manually uploading it to Azure, all that kind of stuff. It's just, nowadays it's whatever can be a time saver is the best, right? So it's an option. It's there for customers to use if you'd like to. But again, there are many options available. So just wanted to present another one that could be exciting.
Thanks, James. And just to fully endorse that from the Microsoft side, this is a more than valid approach, an excellent approach to take when customizing your Red Hat images. And like that, if you have a lot of them, maybe using the Red Hat Image Builder is the better way for you to manage those images and present them on Azure. I think a common way that Azure customers might normally customize a Linux virtual machine image is to take something from the Azure Marketplace and deploy it, and then make some changes to it, and then save it as a custom image, which you can also do on Azure.
Oh yeah,
But like that, there are maybe a number of tricks. So, for example, it's harder to resize that image down to a smaller image, which is obviously a lot easier to do with the Red Hat image Builder. And like you said, James, there are lots of different options for ways to deploy and configure your Linux virtual machine image, and hopefully, at least showing people that they can use the Red Hat, image Builder here is something that can be fully endorsed and used.
nice, fantastic stuff, fantastic.